there, can pop a handball over the top for Eddey to explode inside 50. Runs to 48, floats it goalward and bounces it through. Time for the Crows here, 27 seconds. Great rundown tackle from O'Shea.
It's a sheer law gone. Sensational tackle, Gat.
Plenty of numbers on the bottom of this. O'Loughlin, Garner, here is Eddey. Sarah, you spoke of it and you nailed it, so did she.
Bounce of the footy bounces away. She puts the tackle in over the top.
Well done, Martin, beat two. Quick kick, sits up, Wall arrives, Garner crabs and goals. Great team goal from North.
They've been dominant all season in 2024. They are the team to beat, and they win their first minor premiership in the AFLW.
Welcome back to Kanga TV, the home of North Melbourne fans. It is finals fever at Arden Street kicking off this week as our girls are getting ready for the qualifying final against Adelaide. And who better to talk through all things women's footy and finals and North Melbourne than the one and only Bella Eddey. Bella, welcome to Kanga TV.
Thank you. Thanks, Marnie. Thanks for inviting me on. Thanks for having me.
So the way this came to be was a bit of a ridiculous story. I hung out with your auntie all day Saturday before our final game at the races, and it took her 2 hours until she decided to mention that you were her niece. So I said, all right, great. I'm going to hit her up and tell her to come and talk footy with me. So here we are, very small world and a very happy coincidence.
That is a very small world and absolutely wild. But here we are. Look what it's done. So we love that for us.
I know, love that for us, me in particular, but you know, hopefully it's reciprocated as well. Undefeated, the home and away season's over, 9 wins and a draw. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling well excited because, finals is obviously starting and that's why we play footy. But yeah, I'm super proud of the girls in the way that we've gone about, this season and the growth that I think we've shown. Obviously losing the granny last year was really disappointing, and to bounce back from that the way we have this season, I think, just been awesome. And it's honestly just been so much fun to be out there every single week with the girls. So yeah, can't complain.
This is your 4th season now on the list, and obviously last season we made the grand final, and this season we are firming up as, don't want to obviously taint anything, but we're firming up as, pretty strong contenders once again. From your first 2 seasons and then into your 3rd and now in your 4th, what do you think has been the difference to get us as a collective to this point now?
Yeah, I think probably a few things. Obviously, when we first started, it was Croc. He was also a new coach and teaching his system. I think now one of the biggest things is just the education that we have around the way we want to play is so solid. Everyone's super across the way we're meant to play, everyone's role. And I think that's probably been the biggest thing I've noticed this year, even from last year. It's just the even contribution that we have across the field. We're not just relying on the same 5 players anymore. Those younger girls and the girls who are, playing in different roles, they've really lifted, and the contribution across the field is just so even. And I think that's been so pleasing. And I reckon that's probably been the biggest difference that I've noticed in my time.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And I was talking to someone about this the other day, the difference between our men's team and our women's team, if I can make the comparison, is that I think every team's got their superstars, and that is, that's the name of the game. But our role players, I think the floor of our role players is so elevated, and every single player has their moment and plays their role week to week. And I think that's what's contributed to the success of the team. And then I think that trickles into the energy. I've been to a few training sessions over the last couple of weeks, and the energy amongst the group is so high, and just everyone really just gets around each other, and it's such a tight, unified group. And I think that's made a massive difference for us as well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Obviously when you're winning, it helps. When you go to training, you're full of energy just because you've won. But I think we really celebrate our role players, so that makes everyone feel valued, and that allows us to go out and just play our best footy regardless, because we know there's a bigger picture than just ourselves out there. And when it's all working as it has been, it obviously then makes it really fun and a lot easier. But yeah, you're right. The energy, training, everything's been so great. And yeah, it's just been super fun.
With the exception of obviously experience, because it takes time to get yourself into this system, your game personally, where do you think the improvement has come from that?
I think for me, it was probably just putting in a really big off-season running, really putting my head down and just, it's no secret with the girls that early on in my career, I didn't love running. I didn't, I would do it, but I didn't love it, and I probably didn't buy in fully. So I think, yeah, this off season, I really just put the foot down and said, you're just going to have to do it. It's part of the job. And yeah, really switched my mindset and learned to embrace it. And I think that's been the biggest difference to me. It's just being fitter when I'm out there, being able to, repeat sprint more often and just stay in the game for a bit longer. And that just allows you to naturally have a bit more of an impact. So that's definitely been pleasing for me to feel personally that I have gotten better over the course of this season as well.
The amount of times I've tried to get into running and I just can't bring myself to do it. Maybe it'll be inspo I need. Maybe I'll just tag along with you and you can push me.
All right, hit me up in off season.
As long as there's a coffee at the end of the run, I'm there. That's fine.
Oh, absolutely. You only go for a run for the little treat afterwards.
100%. So talk to me about this Friday night. We play Adelaide at IKON Park. It's a massive game. Adelaide is always around the mark. And I think across the board of the competition, with the exception of Hawthorn and Brisbane, Adelaide's probably the most threatening outfit. We beat them a couple of weeks ago over there under lights. We also beat them in the prelim last season. How do you guys prepare going into this game? Is it anything different, or is it just the same sort of thing you've been doing week in, week out?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too different. It's probably been one thing, the staple of our season this year. We've pretty much approached every game the exact same way. So I feel we'll do that again. And it's a bit unique because we literally feels like we just played them, because we did only 2 weeks ago. So yeah. I guess it's probably a good thing too. Like, that footage is only 2 weeks old, so we know exactly how they want to play. They know how we want to play too, but we know where we need to do better against them. So I think it'll be a really interesting clash because of how recently that we've played each other, and both sides really know what the other's trying to do. But I think it'll be a bit different. Norwood Oval, where we played them, is a very skinny and small ground, and now we're going to IKON, which is this really big, wide ground. So I think it'll probably look like a completely different game to the Norwood game, which I think is super exciting. But we always have close clashes with them, and I'm sure they've got the prelim in the back of their mind too, so I'm sure they wouldn't love to get a scalp over us. But obviously we have the double chance, but if we can just get the win and book our ticket straight to the prelim, that's definitely what we've got our eyes on.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. And I think that's what, again, try not to get ahead of ourselves here, because it's no discredit to Adelaide too, but I think this group has come so far, especially this season, that it would be a shame for us to not be able to at least give ourselves the best opportunity and get that double chance. With the team going into the game, we've had a relatively healthy list in terms of injury throughout the season. Emma Carney is obviously the big standout. She did a hamstring and has been managed pretty tightly to try and get her ready for finals. Could we expect to see her back on Friday, or is it still too soon?
I'm actually not 100% sure, but my gut feel is that I think it is potentially a little bit too soon, unfortunately, for Carnes. Obviously, playing without our skip, we'd all love it to have back on the park, but I think, given the nature of the injury, I think they're playing the more conservative route, especially with the double chance. But we'll see. And while she's sidelined and she's obviously such an important part of this team, we have had the addition over the past couple of seasons of Kate Shearlaw and Libby Birch, some real experience that's been injected to help with the youth and the up-and-comers. That's something that we've tried to do with the men's during the off-season with our recruitment. How beneficial has that been for both yourself and then for the team as a whole? Yeah, I think it's been huge. Libby's slotted straight into the team and made a real impact, not just with how she plays. Obviously, she's a great player, but what she's done for us off the field. She got elected straight into the leadership group, so it obviously speaks volumes to how she came into the club. Same with Shields. She was similar too, straight into the leadership group when she got in. So I think everyone really values their experience and what they bring. I think off the field, they've probably personally helped. I can definitely speak for Kate, because we played forwards together, that she's definitely helped all of us in the forward line to grow our games and be a better teammate. And I'm sure the backs could say the same thing for Libby. She's such a vocal player, Lib. So yeah, they've both been great. And I think the additions of, as you said, the boys are trying to do a similar thing. And I think the additions that they've got in Parker and Darling in particular will probably have a similar impact on the younger boys. And I always say that younger players don't really make other younger players any better. So I think it's great to have some experienced heads around to kind of show the way like that. And for those who are thinking about getting down on Friday night, obviously a crowd behind us would be exactly the thing that you need to get everyone up and about. What do you have to say to the fans at home? Yeah, definitely. I'd say get down. Last year in the final series, the crowd was enormous. It was so loud in there, and the girls really felt all that energy. So if you're thinking about getting down, absolutely get down. The girls really appreciate it, and it genuinely makes such a difference.
Amazing, Bella. Thank you so much for your time. It was so great to chat, and we'll definitely see you on Friday night, hopefully booking a win straight to the prelim.
No worries. Thanks for having me, Marnie.